Have you ever wondered what it really takes to find lasting happiness? Is it wealth, success, or the perfect life? Or could the answer lie in something much deeper, something we all have within us but often overlook? In today's video, we'll uncover the timeless wisdom of Buddhism and how it holds the key to unlocking inner peace and clarity, no matter how chaotic the world around you may be. From letting go of attachments to discovering beauty in adversity, these teachings are not just ancient philosophy, they're practical, transformative tools you can use in your everyday life. Stay tuned as we dive into the story of Siddhartha Gautama, a prince who left everything behind to find the true essence of life, and how his teachings continue to inspire people like Malala Yousafzai, and maybe even you. Imagine overcoming stress, transforming challenges into growth, and creating a life filled with meaning and serenity. Doesn't that sound incredible? But before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with someone who could use a little peace in their life, and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing content like this. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Alright, let's get started on this journey to inner peace and self-discovery. Buddhism offers profound insights into the human condition and practical ways to navigate life's inevitable challenges. At its core, the teachings revolve around understanding suffering, its origins, and the path to liberation. One of the fundamental principles in Buddhism is the concept that attachment leads to suffering. This insight reflects the universal human tendency to cling to things, whether they are material possessions, relationships, or even ideas, and to resist the impermanent nature of existence. The inevitability of change means that clinging only brings dissatisfaction and pain. A simple example is the attachment to youth. People often invest significant energy and resources trying to preserve their appearance. But no matter how hard they try, time will inevitably have its way. Recognizing the impermanence of life allows us to appreciate the present moment without fear of losing it. This understanding is not an invitation to detach from life entirely, but rather a call to embrace it with awareness and gratitude. Desire, another central theme in Buddhist teachings, is often misunderstood. While many assume that Buddhism advocates the elimination of all desires, this isn't entirely accurate. It is not desire itself that is harmful, but rather the cravings and attachments that stem from it. For instance, craving material wealth at the expense of relationships or ethical behavior can lead to restlessness and dissatisfaction. However, desires aligned with virtuous goals, such as the desire to cultivate kindness, learn, or grow spiritually, can be incredibly beneficial. This distinction between skillful and unskillful desires is a reminder that our intentions shape our experiences. Imagine someone driven by the desire to achieve career success. If this desire is rooted in a need for validation or power, it might lead to unethical choices or burnout. Conversely, if it is motivated by a wish to contribute positively to society or support loved ones, it can be a source of fulfillment. Buddhism also addresses the allure and dangers of sensual pleasures. While enjoying life's pleasures is not inherently wrong, overindulgence or reliance on them for happiness often leads to negative consequences. Sensual pleasures, such as food, entertainment, or luxury, are fleeting and can create cycles of craving and dissatisfaction. For example, think about the momentary joy of eating a delicious dessert. While there's nothing wrong with enjoying it, constantly seeking such indulgences might lead to unhealthy habits or neglect of deeper emotional needs. The teachings caution against letting sensual pursuits dominate our lives, as this imbalance can lead to greed, addiction, and harm. Instead, moderation and mindfulness are encouraged, allowing us to enjoy life without becoming enslaved by it. One of the most empowering aspects of Buddhism is its perspective on suffering. Instead of viewing suffering as something to be avoided at all costs, it is seen as an opportunity for growth and transformation. This perspective is deeply rooted in the Buddha's own journey. Siddhartha Gautama's encounter with suffering through witnessing old age, sickness, and death was the catalyst for his quest for enlightenment. Similarly, our personal struggles can often lead to profound insights and personal growth. Take, for instance, someone who faces the loss of a job, While the immediate experience may be painful and disorienting, it might also provide an opportunity to explore new paths, develop resilience, or discover hidden strengths. The Buddhist metaphor of the lotus flower, which blooms beautifully in muddy water, illustrates this concept vividly. Beauty and growth often arise from life's difficulties. The importance of good company is another recurring theme in Buddhist teachings. The people we surround ourselves with significantly influence our thoughts, behaviors, and overall well-being. Wise and positive companions can inspire us, provide guidance, and help us stay aligned with our values. Conversely, negative influences can lead us astray. This idea resonates with modern psychological studies that emphasize the impact of social environments on mental health and personal development. Consider the story of someone who changes their life trajectory after joining a supportive community. Whether it's a group of friends, a workplace team, or a spiritual gathering, the right environment can foster growth and happiness. In contrast, staying in toxic relationships or environments often leads to stagnation and suffering. The Buddha's advice to seek wise companions or to choose solitude over harmful company is a timeless reminder of the power of our social connections. A trained mind is central to achieving lasting happiness. According to Buddhist philosophy, the practice of meditation is a cornerstone of this training, offering a way to calm the restless mind and cultivate clarity. In our fast-paced, distraction-filled world, the ability to quiet the mind has become more important than ever. Meditation helps us detach from overthinking, reduces stress, and enhances our capacity to live in the present moment. Imagine someone who regularly practices mindfulness. They might face challenges at work, but instead of reacting impulsively or being overwhelmed, they approach situations with calmness and focus. This ability to respond rather than react transforms not only how we experience difficulties, but also how we interact with others. The famous analogy of the mind as a garden captures this beautifully. When we tend to our minds with care, removing weeds of negativity and cultivating seeds of positivity, it blossoms into a source of peace and joy. Another profound teaching in Buddhism is the understanding that short-term pleasures or harmful actions often have long-term consequences. The principle of karma emphasizes that our actions, whether good or bad, set into motion a chain of effects that shape our future experiences. While indulging in deceit, greed, or other harmful behaviors might bring immediate gratification, the eventual consequences often outweigh the short-lived benefits. Consider someone who builds their career on manipulation and dishonesty. While they may achieve success in the short term, the erosion of trust and reputation eventually leads to their downfall. On the other hand, acts of kindness, generosity, and integrity may not yield instant rewards, but create a foundation for enduring happiness and respect. The idea of karma serves as both a cautionary tale and an encouragement to act mindfully and ethically in every moment. Ultimately, the wisdom of Buddhism invites us to reflect deeply on our lives and the choices we make. It is not about rigid adherence to doctrines or renunciation of all worldly pleasures, but about finding balance and cultivating a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. These teachings are not confined to monasteries or ancient texts. They are profoundly relevant to modern life. Whether it's learning to let go of attachments, desiring wisely, moderating our pursuit of pleasure, or finding beauty in suffering, each principle offers a pathway to greater peace and fulfillment. Buddhism challenges us to take responsibility for our inner lives, recognizing that true happiness is not found in external circumstances but cultivated within. By applying these timeless insights to our daily lives, we can navigate life's complexities with grace and wisdom. Clinging to things that are impermanent is one of the most common sources of human suffering, and this principle lies at the heart of Buddhist teachings. The idea is simple but profound. In a world where change is inevitable, resisting this reality causes pain. People often attach themselves to possessions, relationships, moments, or even their sense of self, forgetting that these are all subject to the natural law of impermanence. The more we cling, the harder it becomes to cope when those things inevitably change or disappear. This attachment blinds us to the beauty of the present moment and instead fills our minds with anxiety, fear, or or sadness about the future. Imagine someone who treasures a particular phase of their life, such as their youth. As they grow older, they may feel increasingly distressed about the visible signs of aging, wishing they could turn back the clock. Cosmetic surgery, expensive creams, and rigorous fitness routines might delay the outward appearance of aging, but they cannot stop time itself. The internal struggle to cling to an idealized version of oneself can lead to dissatisfaction, even if everything else in life is going well. On the other hand, those who embrace aging as a natural part of life often find themselves at peace, appreciating each stage for its unique gifts. This perspective allows them to fully engage with the present, free from the burden of trying to hold on to something that cannot be preserved. Attachment also manifests in relationships. A parent who cannot let go of their child as they grow up might inadvertently harm the very bond they are trying to protect. While it is natural for parents to care deeply for their children, overprotectiveness can stifle a child's independence and lead to resentment on both sides. For example, a parent might insist on making decisions for their adult child, believing they are acting out of love. However, this behavior often creates conflict and prevents the child from learning to navigate life's challenges independently. By accepting that their role as a parent evolves over time, they can foster a healthier and more supportive relationship, allowing their child to flourish. The workplace offers another relatable example of how attachment to impermanent things can cause distress. Many people tie their sense of identity and self-worth to their careers. When they experience setbacks, such as losing a job or being passed over for a promotion, the blow feels devastating because it threatens their self-image. However, those who recognize that jobs are just one aspect of life and that success in any field is often temporary are better equipped to adapt and move forward. By focusing on skills, relationships, and personal growth rather than clinging to specific roles or titles, they build resilience and find fulfillment beyond their professional identity. The resistance to change also applies to possessions. Think of someone who has accumulated a lifetime of material goods and struggles to part with them. Even when those items no longer serve a purpose, perhaps they hold onto clothes they haven't worn in years or sentimental objects that clutter their space. While these possessions may hold memories, clinging to them can create physical and emotional burdens. Decluttering, on the other hand, can feel liberating and provide clarity. By letting go of unnecessary belongings, people often discover a sense of lightness and freedom, realizing that their happiness does not depend on the things they own. On a broader scale, the human tendency to resist change can be seen in societal or cultural contexts. For example, communities often struggle with adapting to new technologies, shifts in economic systems, or changes in traditional norms. Resistance to such transformations can lead to tension, fear, and even conflict. However, those who approach these changes with an open mind and a willingness to adapt often find opportunities for growth and innovation. By accepting that change is inevitable, individuals and societies can navigate transitions with greater ease and resilience. The lesson here is not to detach completely or avoid caring about the things that matter to us. Rather, it is about cultivating a mindset that appreciates the present moment while remaining mindful of its transient nature. This mindset allows us to experience joy without the fear of losing it and to face challenges without being overwhelmed by them. For instance, enjoying a sunset becomes more meaningful when we fully immerse ourselves in the experience, knowing that it will soon pass. Instead of lamenting its brevity, we treasure its beauty even more because it is fleeting. Buddhist teachings remind us that attachment is not just about external things, but also about internal states, such as emotions or beliefs. Many people cling to their ideas of how life should be, which can lead to frustration and disappointment when reality does not align with their expectations. For example, someone who believes they must always be successful or happy might feel like a failure during difficult times, even if those challenges are temporary and part of a natural cycle. By letting go of rigid expectations and embracing the fluidity of life, they can find contentment in all circumstances. The path to releasing attachment involves mindfulness and self-awareness. Meditation is a powerful tool in this process. helping individuals observe their thoughts and feelings without becoming entangled in them. Through meditation, people learn to recognize the impermanence of their emotions, realizing that even intense feelings like anger or sadness eventually pass. This practice cultivates a sense of equanimity, enabling them to respond to life's ups and downs with greater calm and perspective. Letting go of attachment is not about becoming indifferent or apathetic. On the contrary, it is about engaging with life more fully and authentically. When we stop clinging to things, we free ourselves to experience deeper connections and greater joy. A musician who plays for the love of music, rather than for fame or accolades, is a perfect example. Their passion and creativity flourish because they are not attached to external validation. Similarly, relationships thrive when both parties appreciate each other in the present, rather than trying to control or possess one another. The principle that attachment leads to suffering is as relevant today as it was in the Buddha's time. In a world increasingly driven by consumerism, instant gratification, and the fear of missing out, the wisdom of letting go offers a powerful antidote to modern stress. By accepting the impermanence of life and shifting our focus to the present moment, we can cultivate a sense of peace that remains steady even amid life's uncertainties. This approach not only reduces suffering, but also allows us to engage with the world in a more meaningful and fulfilling way. Desire, as a fundamental aspect of human experience, is often misunderstood in the context of spiritual teachings. Buddhism does not advocate for the complete eradication of desire, but rather emphasizes the importance of desiring wisely. Desire itself is neither inherently good nor bad. Its impact depends on what we desire and the motivations behind those desires. When desire is rooted in superficial or fleeting pursuits, it often leads to dissatisfaction and restlessness. However, when directed toward meaningful and virtuous goals, desire becomes a powerful force for personal growth, fulfillment, and even societal contribution. Consider the example of someone who desires wealth. On the surface, accumulating financial resources may seem like a legitimate and harmless goal, but the underlying motivation can significantly influence the outcome. If this desire stems from a need for status, power, or validation, the individual might find themselves in an endless cycle of accumulation without ever feeling content. The pursuit becomes a source of anxiety, as there is always more to be gained, more competitors to outdo, or new benchmarks to meet. On the other hand, if the desire for wealth is motivated by a wish to provide for one's family, support charitable causes, or create opportunities for others, it takes on a more positive and fulfilling dimension. In this case, the goal aligns with values that contribute to long-term happiness and peace of mind. This principle extends beyond material wealth to other areas of life, such as relationships, career aspirations, or personal achievements. Take, for instance, someone who desires to excel in their career. If their motivation is purely to gain recognition or outshine their peers, they may find themselves trapped in a cycle of stress and comparison. Their success might bring temporary satisfaction, but it often leaves them yearning for more, as external validation is inherently fleeting. Conversely, if their professional ambition is driven by a passion for their work, a desire to solve meaningful problems, or a commitment to improving their industry, their efforts are more likely to bring a sense of purpose and fulfillment. The entertainment industry provides another relatable example of how desires can be shaped by intent. Many aspiring artists dream of fame and fortune, believing these will bring happiness and security. While some may achieve their goals, they often find that fame does not equate to fulfillment. The constant scrutiny, loss of privacy, and pressure to maintain their status can overshadow the initial excitement. In contrast, artists who focus on their craft for its own sake, those who create music, films, or literature as a form of expression, or to inspire others, often derive deeper satisfaction from their work. Even if they do not achieve widespread recognition, their internal sense of purpose remains intact. In personal relationships, the distinction between wise and unwise desires is equally crucial. Many people enter relationships with the hope that their partner will complete them or fulfill all their emotional needs. This kind of attachment often leads to disappointment, as no individual can perfectly meet another's expectations. Over time, this dynamic can create resentment or dependency, undermining the relationship. On the other hand, a relationship built on mutual respect, shared growth, and genuine affection fosters a healthier and more fulfilling connection. The desire to support and grow alongside a partner reflects a wise approach to relationships, rooted in understanding and balance rather than unrealistic expectations. Buddhism's emphasis on desiring wisely also applies to the way we engage with pleasure and leisure. Many people seek happiness through indulgence in sensory experiences, whether it's through food, entertainment, or luxury. While these experiences can provide temporary enjoyment, an over-reliance on them often leads to diminishing returns. For instance, the initial thrill of buying a new gadget or taking an extravagant vacation might fade quickly, leaving one searching for the next source of excitement. Instead, channeling desire toward activities that bring lasting joy, such as cultivating meaningful hobbies, spending time with loved ones, or volunteering, leads to more enduring satisfaction. An illustrative example is the difference between someone who spends hours scrolling through social media versus someone who uses that time to develop a skill or help their community. The former may find momentary distraction but often feels unfulfilled or even anxious afterward, as the content they consume rarely addresses deeper needs. The latter, however, gains a sense of accomplishment or connection, which contributes to their overall well-being. This shift in focus demonstrates the power of aligning desires with activities that nurture the soul rather than merely entertain the senses. Education and self-improvement are also areas where the distinction between wise and unwise desires becomes evident. A student who desires academic success for the sake of competing with peers or meeting societal expectations might achieve high grades but feel empty or directionless afterward. On the other hand, a student motivated by a genuine curiosity about their field or a desire to use their knowledge to help others is more likely to find their studies meaningful and rewarding. This approach not only benefits the individual, but often has a ripple effect, as their passion and expertise contribute positively to the world around them. Even in parenting, the concept of desiring wisely plays a significant role. Parents naturally want the best for their children, but their approach to this desire can have vastly different outcomes. A parent who pushes their child toward specific achievements, such as excelling in sports or academics, without considering the child's interests or well-being, may unintentionally cause stress or strain the relationship. In contrast, a parent who desires to nurture their child's unique talents and support their emotional growth fosters a healthier and more positive environment. This distinction highlights how the intention behind a desire shapes its impact. Desiring wisely also involves being mindful of the consequences of our pursuits. Many people chase short-term pleasures or immediate gratification without considering the long-term effects. For example, someone who desires success might resort to unethical practices, such as cutting corners or exploiting others, to achieve their goals. While they may gain temporary advantages, the damage to their reputation, relationships, and conscience often outweighs the benefits. On the other hand, those who prioritize integrity and fairness in their endeavors might progress more slowly but build a solid foundation for lasting success and respect. Ultimately, the lesson of desiring wisely is about aligning our goals and aspirations with values that foster inner peace and long-term fulfillment. This requires self-awareness and reflection, as well as the courage to let go of pursuits that do not serve our well-being. It means shifting our focus from external validation to internal growth, from fleeting pleasures to enduring joys, and from selfish desires to selfless contributions. When we approach desire with mindfulness and intention, it becomes a source of inspiration and strength rather than a cause of suffering or restlessness. This balanced perspective allows us to live more authentically and harmoniously, not only with ourselves but also with the world around us. Sensual pleasures are an inherent part of life, offering moments of enjoyment and satisfaction. However, the Buddhist perspective emphasizes the importance of moderation and mindfulness when engaging with these pleasures. While there is nothing inherently wrong with taking delight in sensory experiences, Overindulgence can lead to an imbalance that traps us in cycles of craving, dissatisfaction, and even harm. The allure of sensual pleasures often masks their fleeting nature, leaving individuals constantly seeking more to maintain the same level of enjoyment. This unending pursuit can detract from deeper sources of happiness and fulfillment. A modern and relatable example of this phenomenon is the overuse of social media. Platforms designed to connect people and provide entertainment have become a significant source of comparison, anxiety, and dissatisfaction for many users. People often curate idealized versions of their lives on these platforms, showcasing highlights while masking struggles. As a result, viewers may feel inadequate when comparing their own lives to these polished images. Overindulgence in scrolling through social media feeds can also lead to a distorted sense of self-worth, as validation becomes tied to likes, comments, or followers. This cycle of seeking external affirmation often leaves users feeling emptier than before, as the satisfaction derived from these interactions is both shallow and temporary. The same principle applies to material possessions. Buying a new car, gadget, or piece of clothing can bring immediate gratification, but the joy often fades as the novelty wears off. This phenomenon, known as the hedonic treadmill, highlights how people adapt quickly to new acquisitions, prompting them to seek the next source of excitement. Over time, this cycle can lead to financial strain, environmental consequences, and a misplaced focus on material wealth as a measure of happiness. Contrast this with someone who approaches consumption mindfully, appreciating their possessions without being driven by the need for constant upgrades. They are more likely to find contentment, as their happiness is not dependent on external acquisitions. Food is another area where sensual pleasures can lead to imbalance. While enjoying a delicious meal is one of life's simple joys, overindulgence in unhealthy foods can have serious consequences for physical and mental well-being. Emotional eating, for instance, is a common coping mechanism where individuals seek comfort in food during times of stress or sadness. While this may provide temporary relief, it often leads to feelings of guilt, weight gain, and health problems over time. Mindful eating, on the other hand, encourages individuals to savor each bite, appreciate the flavors, and listen to their body's hunger and fullness cues. This practice fosters a healthier relationship with food and reduces the tendency to overconsume. The entertainment industry offers another example of how sensual pleasures can become traps. Binge-watching television shows, playing video games for hours on end, or indulging in excessive nightlife might seem harmless at first, but these activities can quickly take over one's time and energy. While they provide a temporary escape from stress or boredom, overindulgence often leads to neglect of responsibilities, decreased productivity, and even strained relationships. Someone who spends their weekends immersed in video games, for instance, might miss opportunities to connect with friends, pursue hobbies, or engage in self-improvement. Striking a balance between entertainment and other aspects of life ensures that these activities enhance rather than detract from overall well-being. Relationships can also be affected by the pitfalls of sensual pleasures. A relationship built solely on physical attraction or superficial enjoyment often lacks the depth and resilience needed to withstand challenges. Over time, the initial excitement may fade, leaving both partners feeling unfulfilled. On the other hand, relationships grounded in shared values, mutual respect, and emotional intimacy are more likely to endure and provide lasting happiness. This aligns with the Buddhist teaching that true joy arises from within and is cultivated through meaningful connections rather than surface-level indulgences. Substance use is perhaps one of the most extreme examples of how overindulgence in sensual pleasures can lead to cycles of craving and dissatisfaction. Alcohol, drugs, and even caffeine offer immediate sensory gratification, but excessive use often leads to dependency, health problems, and a diminished quality of life. While moderate consumption of certain substances might not pose significant risks, the tendency to seek relief or pleasure through these means can spiral into addiction. Recovery from such dependencies often requires individuals to address the underlying emotional or psychological needs they were attempting to satisfy. highlighting the importance of finding healthier and more sustainable sources of fulfillment. Even travel and adventure, often seen as enriching experiences, can become sources of imbalance when pursued excessively. The desire to constantly explore new destinations or seek adrenaline-fueled activities can mask deeper feelings of dissatisfaction or restlessness. For example, someone who spends all their time planning their next vacation may be using travel as a way to escape from unresolved issues in their daily life. While there is value in exploring the world and experiencing new cultures, it's important to balance these pursuits with the cultivation of contentment in everyday life. Mindful travel, where the focus is on meaningful experiences rather than ticking off bucket list items, can be more fulfilling and sustainable. The lesson in all these examples is that true joy and satisfaction are not found in the unrestrained pursuit of sensual pleasures, but in a balanced and mindful approach to life. This does not mean denying ourselves enjoyment or rejecting the pleasures of the world, but rather engaging with them in a way that enhances rather than diminishes our well-being. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in this process, as it allows us to recognize when our cravings are leading us toward imbalance and to redirect our energy toward more meaningful pursuits. Consider the example of someone who practices mindfulness while enjoying a simple cup of tea. Instead of rushing through the experience or using it as a mere distraction, they fully immerse themselves in the moment, appreciating the aroma, taste, and warmth of the tea. This seemingly mundane act becomes a source of deep contentment, illustrating how mindfulness transforms ordinary experiences into profound moments of joy. By cultivating this awareness in all areas of life, individuals can break free from the cycles of craving and dissatisfaction that often accompany sensual pleasures. Buddhism teaches that the key to overcoming the pitfalls of sensual pleasures lies in understanding their impermanent nature. When we recognize that these pleasures are fleeting, we are less likely to become attached to them or to base our happiness on their presence. This understanding allows us to engage with the world in a way that is both enriching and liberating. Instead of seeking fulfillment in external sources, we turn inward to cultivate a sense of peace and contentment that is not dependent on circumstances. This shift in perspective not only reduces suffering but also enhances our ability to appreciate life's true joys, which often lie in simple and meaningful moments rather than in extravagant indulgences. Suffering, as unpleasant as it may seem, holds the potential to be one of life's greatest teachers. While it is natural to avoid pain and discomfort, the truth is that hardship often forces us to confront our inner strength, reevaluate our priorities, and ultimately grow in ways we may never have imagined. This idea is deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy, which views suffering not as something to be entirely avoided, but as a pathway to understanding, compassion, and transformation. The Buddha himself is the ultimate example of this principle, having embarked on his journey toward enlightenment after encountering the universal truths of sickness, old age, and death. His transformation from a sheltered prince into a spiritual leader illustrates how profound beauty and wisdom can emerge from life's most challenging moments. This principle resonates strongly in the modern world, where numerous stories of resilience and triumph remind us of the transformative power of suffering. Oprah Winfrey's journey is a powerful example. Born into poverty and enduring a tumultuous childhood marked by abuse and hardship, Oprah could have been consumed by the weight of her circumstances. Instead, she channeled her experiences into building a career that not only brought her success but also empowered millions around the globe. Her ability to turn personal pain into a source of strength and inspiration is a testament to the idea that from misery grows beauty. Oprah's story reminds us that our struggles can become the foundation for something greater, providing us with the empathy and determination to make a meaningful impact on the world. The transformative nature of suffering is not limited to extraordinary individuals. It is a universal truth that applies to all of us in varying degrees. Consider the example of someone who loses their job unexpectedly. While the initial experience may be devastating, it often forces them to reassess their goals, explore new opportunities, or even pursue a long-held passion they had previously neglected. What begins as a period of uncertainty and fear can evolve into a chapter of personal growth and self-discovery. Many people who have faced such setbacks later look back and recognize those moments as pivotal turning points in their lives. Physical challenges can also illustrate the growth that stems from suffering. Athletes, for instance, endure grueling training regimens and push their bodies to the limit in pursuit of their goals. The pain they experience along the way, whether it's sore muscles or the disappointment of defeat, ultimately makes them stronger and more resilient. Think of a marathon runner who struggles through the final miles of a race. The physical and mental hardship of that moment may feel unbearable, but crossing the finish line brings an overwhelming sense of accomplishment and pride. The growth they experience comes not in spite of the pain, but because of it. Suffering also fosters empathy, a quality that deepens our connections with others and enriches our lives. When we experience hardship, we gain a greater understanding of the struggles others face, making us more compassionate and less judgmental. This principle is beautifully illustrated in the work of humanitarian leaders like Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 years in prison under apartheid, Mandela emerged not with bitterness, but with a profound commitment to reconciliation and justice. His suffering gave him a unique perspective and the moral authority to lead his country toward healing. Mandela's story exemplifies how enduring hardship can cultivate the empathy and wisdom needed to effect meaningful change. The creative arts are another area where suffering often gives rise to beauty. Many of the world's most powerful works of art, literature, and music have been born from pain and struggle. For example, Frida Kahlo's iconic paintings were deeply influenced by her physical suffering and emotional turmoil. Her art, filled with vivid colors and raw emotion, resonates with audiences because it speaks to the universal experience of pain and resilience. Similarly, musicians like Beethoven, who composed some of his greatest works while losing his hearing, demonstrate how adversity can fuel creativity and leave a lasting legacy. These examples show that suffering, while deeply personal, can also be a source of connection and inspiration for others. Even in everyday life, we see how small moments of suffering can lead to growth and transformation. A student who struggles with a challenging subject might develop perseverance and problem-solving skills through their efforts to improve. A parent navigating the difficulties of raising a child with special needs might discover levels of patience, resourcefulness, and unconditional love they never knew they possessed. These experiences, though often painful, shape us into stronger, more capable individuals. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an inevitable part of the human experience, but it is also a source of profound insight. This perspective encourages us to approach our pain with curiosity and acceptance rather than resistance. Meditation, a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, provides a practical way to do this. By observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can begin to see suffering not as a punishment, but as an opportunity for growth. For instance, someone dealing with grief might use meditation to explore their feelings and uncover deeper truths about love, loss, and the impermanence of life. This process, while difficult, can lead to a sense of peace and understanding that transcends the initial pain. Another way suffering can lead to growth is by challenging us to let go of attachments and expectations. When life doesn't go as planned, we are often forced to reevaluate what truly matters. A person who faces a major health crisis, for example, might come to appreciate the value of time, relationships, and self-care in a way they never did before. This shift in perspective can lead to a more meaningful and intentional life, free from the distractions of superficial concerns. Community and support also play a crucial role in transforming suffering into beauty. When we share our struggles with others, we often find strength and solace in their empathy and encouragement. Support groups, for instance, provide a space for individuals facing similar challenges to connect and learn from one another's experiences. These connections can be profoundly healing, reminding us that we are not alone in our pain. The bonds formed through shared adversity often become some of the most meaningful relationships in our lives. The natural world offers countless metaphors for the beauty that can emerge from suffering. Consider how a caterpillar must endure the confines of a chrysalis before emerging as a butterfly, or how a seed must be buried in the darkness of soil before it can sprout and grow. These processes, though seemingly harsh, are essential for transformation. In the same way, our struggles often contain the seeds of our growth, pushing us to evolve into the best versions of ourselves. The lesson here is that suffering, while painful, is not without purpose. It can serve as a catalyst for self-discovery, resilience, and connection. By embracing life's challenges and using them as stepping stones, we can uncover a deeper sense of meaning and fulfillment. This mindset doesn't diminish the reality of pain, but reframes it as an integral part of the human journey. In recognizing that beauty can grow from misery, we not only transform our own lives, but also inspire others to find hope and strength in their struggles. The people we surround ourselves with profoundly influence the trajectory of our lives. This is a universal truth, recognized not only in Buddhism but also across cultures and philosophies. The idea is simple: good company elevates us, while harmful company drags us down. Like a lotus blooming in clear water, individuals thrive when placed in supportive, positive environments. Surrounding ourselves with wise and uplifting people encourages personal growth, fosters resilience, and provides guidance during challenging times. The opposite, however, can lead to stagnation, negativity, and even self-destruction. Consider the life and work of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi's transformative journey wasn't a solitary endeavor. He aligned himself with individuals who shared his values and vision for justice and nonviolence. His collaboration with people like Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, and his close mentor Gopal Krishna Gokhale helped refine his ideas and amplify his impact. This collective wisdom not only strengthened his resolve, but also provided a network of support that allowed him to lead India's independence movement effectively. Gandhi's success highlights how wise companions can magnify one's potential and help achieve goals that might seem insurmountable alone. In everyday life, the principle of good company applies just as strongly. Think about the impact of friendships during formative years, such as adolescence. A teenager who falls in with a group of peers who value education, kindness, and healthy habits is more likely to adopt those same values. Conversely, a teen surrounded by peers who engage in reckless or harmful behaviors is more susceptible to making similar choices. This dynamic illustrates how the people closest to us shape our behaviors, decisions, and even our identity. In professional settings, the importance of good company is equally apparent. Many successful individuals attribute their achievements to the mentorship and support of others. For instance, Steve Jobs had a strong partnership with Steve Wozniak, whose technical expertise complemented Jobs' visionary thinking. Their collaboration fueled the creation of Apple, one of the most iconic companies in the world. Surrounding oneself with individuals who challenge, inspire, and uplift fosters creativity and innovation, while being part of a toxic work environment can stifle growth and lead to burnout. The effects of good company extend beyond professional and academic realms to personal well-being. Research consistently shows that social connections are vital for mental health and happiness. People with strong, positive relationships are less likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, and loneliness. A supportive circle of friends or family provides a buffer against life's challenges, offering encouragement and perspective during difficult times. On the other hand, relationships marked by negativity, criticism, or manipulation can have the opposite effect, contributing to stress and eroding self-esteem. The Buddhist teaching that solitude is better than harmful company underscores the importance of choosing companions wisely. While humans are inherently social creatures, not all relationships are beneficial. Being alone, while challenging for some, can be a healthier option than being surrounded by negativity. Solitude allows for self-reflection, personal growth, and the opportunity to focus on one's goals and values without the distractions or influences of others. For example, a person who steps away from a toxic friendship or relationship may initially feel isolated, but often discovers a newfound sense of clarity and independence. This period of solitude can be transformative, enabling them to rebuild their life on a foundation of positivity and self-respect. One of the reasons good company is so impactful is the phenomenon of emotional contagion, the way emotions and attitudes spread within groups. When surrounded by optimistic, motivated individuals, we are more likely to adopt those qualities ourselves. Conversely, negativity, cynicism, or laziness can also spread, sapping our energy and drive. This principle is often seen in team dynamics. A cohesive team with a positive leader and supportive members tends to perform better and feel more satisfied with their work, while a team plagued by negativity and conflict struggles to achieve its potential. Social media, while not a traditional form of companionship, also plays a significant role in shaping the quality of our company. The people we follow and interact with online influence our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, often subconsciously. Engaging with uplifting, thoughtful content can inspire and educate, while constant exposure to negativity, drama, or superficiality can leave us feeling drained and dissatisfied. Curating one's online environment by following individuals and communities that promote positivity and growth is a modern application of the Buddhist teaching on good company. The analogy of the lotus thriving in clear water beautifully illustrates this concept. A lotus cannot flourish in murky, polluted water. It requires clarity and purity to reach its full potential. Similarly, individuals need an environment of support, encouragement, and wisdom to thrive. Good company serves as the clear water, providing the conditions necessary for growth and flourishing. This doesn't mean avoiding all challenges or difficult situations, but rather ensuring that our core relationships and influences are constructive rather than destructive. In parenting, the importance of good company is often emphasized when considering the influences on children. Parents strive to surround their kids with positive role models, supportive teachers, and peers who embody good values. A child who grows up in such an environment is more likely to develop confidence, empathy, and a strong moral compass. Conversely, children exposed to negativity, violence, or neglect often face greater struggles in their development, highlighting the critical role of one's environment in shaping outcomes. Good company also has a spiritual dimension, as highlighted in Buddhist teachings. Being part of a community that shares one's values and aspirations can deepen one's practice and understanding. In Buddhism, the Sangha, an assembly of monks, nuns, and lay practitioners, provides a supportive network for those seeking enlightenment. The Sangha embodies the idea that spiritual growth is not a solitary pursuit but a journey enriched by the wisdom and guidance of others. This principle extends to any spiritual or philosophical path, where shared values and mutual support create a fertile ground for growth. Even in times of adversity, the presence of good company can make a significant difference. Consider someone recovering from a serious illness. While the physical aspect of recovery depends on medical treatment, emotional and psychological healing often relies on the support of family, friends, or caregivers. Encouragement, compassion, and a sense of community can inspire hope and resilience, helping the individual navigate their challenges more effectively. The same principle applies to those facing grief, financial hardship, or other life difficulties. Good company provides the strength and perspective needed to endure and overcome. Ultimately, the lesson of good company is about being intentional in our relationships and environments. It encourages us to seek out people who inspire, challenge, and support us, while also being mindful of the energy and attitudes we bring into our interactions. By prioritizing connections that foster positivity and growth, we create a foundation for a more fulfilling and harmonious life. At the same time, recognizing the value of solitude allows us to step away from harmful influences and focus on our inner development. In this way, good company not only amplifies our potential, but also enriches our journey toward becoming the best version of ourselves. A trained mind is one of the most powerful tools for achieving happiness and inner peace. The human mind, left untrained, is like an untamed animal, restless, impulsive, and easily distracted. It constantly jumps from one thought to another, dwelling on the past, worrying about the future, or getting caught up in cravings and aversions. This incessant mental activity often leaves us feeling anxious, stressed, and dissatisfied. However, through the practice of meditation, the mind can be trained to focus, calm itself, and align with the present moment. This shift in mental state allows us to discover a profound sense of peace and contentment that is independent of external circumstances. Meditation is the cornerstone of this process. It is not about suppressing thoughts or forcing the mind into silence, but rather about observing the mind without judgment and cultivating awareness. This practice helps us recognize the patterns of our thoughts and emotions, giving us the ability to respond to life's challenges with clarity and composure rather than reacting impulsively. For instance, someone who regularly practices meditation might find themselves better equipped to handle stress at work. Instead of being overwhelmed by a demanding project or a critical deadline, they can approach the situation with a calm and focused mindset, prioritizing tasks and managing their time effectively. Athletes provide a compelling example of how a trained mind can lead to peak performance. Many elite athletes incorporate visualization and mindfulness techniques into their training routines to enhance their focus and manage pressure during high-stakes competitions. Take Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps, who famously used visualization to mentally rehearse his races, imagining every stroke and turn with precision. This practice not only prepared his body, but also trained his mind to remain calm and confident under pressure. The same principles apply to other high-pressure scenarios. Whether it's delivering a presentation, performing on stage, or navigating a difficult conversation, by training the mind to focus and stay present, individuals can access their full potential and achieve their goals with greater ease. The benefits of a trained mind extend far beyond professional or athletic performance. One of the most significant advantages is the ability to manage negative emotions, such as anger, fear, or sadness. Untrained minds often become overwhelmed by these emotions, leading to impulsive actions or prolonged periods of distress. Meditation teaches us to observe these emotions as they arise, acknowledge them without judgment, and let them pass naturally. For example, someone dealing with a heated argument might initially feel a surge of anger. A trained mind, however, allows them to pause, take a deep breath, and respond thoughtfully rather than lashing out. This ability to regulate emotions not only improves personal relationships, but also fosters a greater sense of self-control and inner stability. In addition to emotional regulation, meditation helps cultivate gratitude and mindfulness, both of which are essential for lasting happiness. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, creating a sense of abundance and contentment. Mindfulness, on the other hand, brings our attention to the present moment, allowing us to fully experience and appreciate life as it unfolds. Together, these practices counteract the tendency to dwell on the past or worry about the future, which are major sources of unhappiness for many people. Consider the simple act of enjoying a meal. Someone with an untrained mind might eat while distracted, barely noticing the taste or texture of the food. A mindful eater, however, savors each bite, appreciating the flavors, the effort that went into preparing the meal, and the nourishment it provides. This heightened awareness transforms an ordinary experience into a source of joy and gratitude. The transformative power of meditation is also evident in its ability to reduce stress and promote overall well-being. Chronic stress is a common problem in today's fast-paced world, contributing to a range of physical and mental health issues. Meditation offers a natural and effective way to counteract stress by calming the nervous system and fostering a sense of relaxation. Scientific studies have shown that regular meditation can lower cortisol levels, reduce blood pressure, and improve immune function. For example, healthcare professionals, who often work in high-stress environments, have reported significant benefits from mindfulness programs. By incorporating meditation into their daily routines, they are better able to cope with the demands of their work and maintain their mental and emotional health. Meditation also enhances creativity and problem-solving skills by creating mental space for new ideas to emerge. When the mind is cluttered with constant thoughts and distractions, it can be difficult to think clearly or come up with innovative solutions. Meditation helps clear this mental clutter, allowing us to approach problems with a fresh perspective. Consider a writer struggling with writer's block. Taking a few minutes to meditate can help quiet the inner critic and open the door to inspiration. Similarly, A business leader facing a complex decision might use meditation to gain clarity and make choices aligned with their values and long-term goals. The practice of meditation is accessible to everyone, regardless of age, background, or lifestyle. It doesn't require special equipment or extensive training, just a willingness to sit quietly and focus on the present moment. There are many forms of meditation, ranging from mindfulness meditation, which involves paying attention to the breath or bodily sensations, to loving kindness meditation, which focuses on cultivating compassion and goodwill toward oneself and others. Each approach offers unique benefits, and individuals can experiment to find the style that resonates most with them. One common misconception about meditation is that it requires a completely still and silent mind. In reality, thoughts and distractions are a natural part of the process. The goal is not to eliminate these thoughts, but to develop a non-reactive awareness of them. For example, during meditation, you might notice your mind wandering to a task you need to complete later. Instead of getting frustrated or trying to push the thought away, you simply acknowledge it and gently bring your focus back to the present moment. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to concentrate and remain grounded, even in the face of distractions. The cumulative effects of meditation extend to all areas of life, enhancing not only individual well-being, but also interpersonal relationships and community dynamics. A person with a trained mind is more likely to approach conflicts with empathy, listen attentively to others, and contribute to a positive atmosphere in their home or workplace. This ripple effect underscores the broader impact of meditation on society, as individuals who cultivate inner peace naturally spread it to those around them. The ultimate lesson of a trained mind is that happiness is not something we need to chase or achieve. It is already within us, waiting to be uncovered. By quieting the noise of the mind and aligning with the present moment, we tap into a wellspring of contentment and clarity that transforms the way we experience life. This inner peace, cultivated through meditation and mindfulness, empowers us to navigate challenges with grace, embrace the beauty of the present, and connect more deeply with ourselves and others. Through consistent practice, we discover that true happiness is not dependent on external circumstances, but arises from the profound stillness and awareness of a trained mind. Actions, whether good or bad, create ripple effects that extend far beyond their initial impact. This principle, deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings and the concept of karma, highlights the importance of mindfulness in our choices. While short-term indulgences in deceit, greed, or selfish behavior may seem to bring immediate benefits, they often set the stage for long-term consequences that can be far more damaging. The idea is simple: what we sow, we reap. Every action carries with it an energy that inevitably returns to us, shaping our future experiences. Consider the story of a CEO who achieves rapid success through unethical practices, such as manipulating financial records or exploiting employees. Initially, these actions might yield impressive results. Profits soar, shareholders are pleased, and the CEO's reputation as a business leader grows. However, over time, the truth begins to surface. Investigations reveal the fraud, legal action ensues, and the once celebrated executive loses everything, including their credibility. This downfall not only affects the CEO, but also harms the employees, investors, and community tied to the company. The long-term repercussions of such actions far outweigh the temporary gains, serving as a powerful reminder that shortcuts and dishonesty rarely lead to lasting success. This principle extends to everyday situations as well. Take the example of a student who cheats on an exam to secure a high grade. While the immediate outcome might be a sense of relief or pride in their score, the long-term consequences can be detrimental. The student misses the opportunity to genuinely learn and grow, leaving gaps in their knowledge that may hinder future endeavors. Moreover, the habit of dishonesty can erode their self-respect and make them more likely to engage in similar behavior later in life. Conversely, a student who chooses to study diligently, even if they don't achieve the highest grade, builds a foundation of integrity and resilience that serves them well in the long run. The concept of karma emphasizes that our actions not only affect us, but also those around us. creating a cycle of cause and effect. For instance, someone who spreads gossip might initially feel a sense of satisfaction or camaraderie with others who indulge in the behavior. However, this habit can lead to a loss of trust and damaged relationships over time. People who once considered them a friend may begin to distance themselves, wary of becoming the subject of future gossip. In contrast, someone who consistently speaks with kindness and integrity fosters stronger, more genuine connections, creating a supportive and respectful community. Greed is another behavior with far-reaching consequences. A person consumed by greed may prioritize accumulating wealth or possessions over relationships, personal growth, or ethical considerations. While this approach might lead to material success in the short term, it often results in isolation and dissatisfaction. For example, a wealthy individual who hoards their resources and refuses to share with others might find themselves surrounded by people who only feign loyalty for personal gain. In contrast, someone who uses their wealth to support their family, contribute to their community, or invest in meaningful causes experiences a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose. Even seemingly small acts of dishonesty can have significant long-term effects. Consider a person who lies on their resume to secure a job. While they might initially impress their employer and land the position, the lie can become a source of constant stress. They may live in fear of being exposed, struggle to perform tasks they aren't qualified for, or damage their reputation if the truth comes to light. This scenario highlights how even minor lapses in integrity can create lasting challenges, reinforcing the importance of honesty in all aspects of life. The principle of karma also applies to acts of kindness and generosity, which create positive ripple effects that benefit both the giver and the receiver. For example, a manager who treats their employees with respect and fairness fosters a productive and motivated team. The employees, in turn, are more likely to go above and beyond in their work, contributing to the success of the organization. This positive cycle not only enhances the workplace environment, but also reflects the manager's values, building their reputation as a leader who inspires loyalty and trust. Parenting offers another illustration of how actions have long-term consequences. A parent who prioritizes quality time with their children, teaching them values like empathy, responsibility, and resilience, invests in their children's future well-being. These lessons often shape the children into compassionate and capable adults who contribute positively to society. On the other hand, a parent who neglects their responsibilities or sets a poor example through dishonest or selfish behavior risks perpetuating those patterns in the next generation. The choices we make as individuals ripple outward, influencing not only our immediate circumstances, but also the broader world. Environmental stewardship is yet another area where the ripple effects of our actions are evident. A person who chooses to reduce waste, conserve resources, or support sustainable practices might not see immediate results. However, their actions contribute to the long-term health of the planet, benefiting future generations. Conversely, those who prioritize convenience or profit over environmental responsibility contribute to issues like pollution and climate change, the consequences of which will be felt for decades to come. This global perspective underscores the interconnectedness of our actions and the importance of making choices that align with long-term well-being. One of the key lessons of karma is that it encourages mindfulness and accountability. By recognizing the potential consequences of our actions, we become more intentional in our choices. This doesn't mean living in constant fear of making mistakes, but rather approaching life with a sense of responsibility and awareness. For example, someone who is mindful of the impact of their words might choose to offer constructive feedback instead of criticism, fostering a more positive and supportive environment. Similarly, a business owner who prioritizes ethical practices, even if it means slower growth, builds a foundation of trust and sustainability that ensures long-term success. The transformative power of sowing kindness and integrity is evident in countless stories of redemption and growth. Consider a person who once engaged in harmful behaviors, but chooses to turn their life around by dedicating themselves to helping others. Their journey not only brings them personal fulfillment, but also inspires those around them, creating a ripple effect of positive change. This aligns with the Buddhist teaching that we have the power to shape our destiny through our actions. By planting seeds of compassion, honesty, and generosity, we cultivate a life filled with peace and prosperity. Ultimately, the lesson is clear. Our actions, no matter how small, have far-reaching consequences, whether through the lens of karma, morality, or simple cause and effect. The choices we make today shape the reality we experience tomorrow. By aligning our actions with values of kindness, integrity, and mindfulness, we not only create a better future for ourselves, but also contribute to the well-being of others. This perspective encourages us to live with intention, recognizing that the energy we put into the world inevitably returns to us. Magnified. Siddhartha Gautama's life story is a profound illustration of how encountering suffering can lead to self-discovery and transformation. Born as a prince in a kingdom where his father shielded him from all forms of suffering, Siddhartha lived a life of luxury and comfort. His days were filled with opulence, free from the harsh realities of the world. However, this carefully constructed bubble of privilege was not sustainable. One day, Siddhartha ventured outside the palace walls and encountered, for the first time, the realities of life: an old man, a sick man, a corpse, and an ascetic. These sights profoundly impacted him, as they revealed the inescapable truths of aging, illness, and death that everyone must face. This realization set Siddhartha on a path of self-discovery. He left behind his royal life, including his family and wealth, to seek answers to the suffering he witnessed. His journey led him through extremes, from indulgence to asceticism, neither of which provided the clarity he sought. It was only when he embraced the middle way, a path of balance between extremes, that he achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Siddhartha's transformation into the Buddha became a universal testament to the power of understanding suffering, letting go of attachments, and finding inner peace. His story reminds us that confronting life's difficulties head-on, rather than avoiding them, is the key to growth and liberation. The essence of Siddhartha's journey is mirrored in modern stories like that of Malala Yousafzai. Born in Pakistan, Malala experienced the devastating effects of a society where girls were denied education. Her passion for learning and her courage to speak out against these injustices made her a target for violence. At the age of 15, Malala was shot in the head by the Taliban while riding a bus home from school. This horrific event could have silenced her, but instead, it ignited a global movement for girls' education. Malala transformed her suffering into advocacy, becoming the youngest ever Nobel Peace Prize laureate. Her journey reflects the Buddhist ideal of finding beauty and purpose in adversity. By turning her personal pain into a force for change, Malala exemplifies how resilience and compassion can emerge from even the darkest experiences. The themes of perseverance and transformation are not limited to historical figures or global icons. They are also present in the small, everyday moments of life. Imagine a gardener planting a seed in the soil. The seed is buried in darkness, subjected to harsh weather, and must struggle to push through the earth. Yet, with patience and care, the seed grows into a beautiful plant, bearing flowers or fruit. This process reflects the idea that beauty and growth often require enduring challenges. The gardener's dedication mirrors the patience needed in our own lives to navigate difficulties and emerge stronger. This metaphor applies to countless everyday situations. Consider a student preparing for a difficult exam. The process of studying may feel overwhelming and exhausting, filled with moments of doubt and frustration. However, the effort and persistence pay off when the student finally understands the material and succeeds. The sense of accomplishment that comes from overcoming these obstacles is far more rewarding than any shortcut could ever provide. Like the gardener, the student learns that perseverance and hard work are essential for meaningful growth. Relationships also provide an example of how enduring challenges can lead to deeper understanding and connection. A couple navigating a rough patch in their relationship may face moments of anger, disappointment, or hurt. However, if both partners are committed to working through their issues with empathy and communication, the experience often strengthens their bond. They come to understand each other more deeply, building trust and resilience that can carry them through future difficulties. This mirrors the Buddhist teaching that hardship, when approached with mindfulness and compassion, can foster growth and beauty. The workplace is another setting where these principles come into play. Imagine an entrepreneur launching a startup. The early days are often fraught with setbacks, financial strain, and sleepless nights. There may be moments when giving up seems like the easiest option. Yet, those who persevere, learn from their failures, and adapt to challenges often find success in the end. The journey transforms them, not only as business people, but also as individuals, teaching lessons in patience, creativity, and resilience. This process of trial and error is akin to the struggle Siddhartha faced before he found enlightenment. It's a reminder that the path to achievement is rarely straightforward. Even in parenting, the parallels to the gardener's perseverance are clear. Raising a child involves countless moments of uncertainty and sacrifice. Parents may feel overwhelmed by the demands of providing for their child's physical, emotional, and educational needs. Yet, the love and care they pour into their child's development often yield immeasurable rewards as they watch their child grow into a kind, capable adult. This journey, while challenging, is one of life's most profound expressions of growth through effort and dedication. The concept of finding beauty in adversity also applies to personal health and well-being. Someone recovering from a serious illness, for example, may endure pain, fear, and physical limitations. However, the process often brings a renewed appreciation for life, a deeper connection with loved ones, and a stronger sense of inner strength. These experiences highlight how even the most difficult circumstances can serve as catalysts for growth and transformation. In community settings, this principle is equally relevant. When a community faces a natural disaster, such as a flood or earthquake, the immediate aftermath is marked by loss and devastation. Yet, these moments often bring people together in extraordinary ways. Neighbors help each other rebuild, strangers donate resources, and volunteers work tirelessly to restore what was lost. These acts of kindness and solidarity create a sense of unity and resilience that might not have emerged without the shared hardship. This collective effort mirrors the Buddhist teaching that beauty often arises from the ashes of suffering. These stories, whether from history, contemporary life, or everyday experiences, underscore a universal truth. Adversity is not the end but a beginning. Like Siddhartha Gautama, who transformed his understanding of suffering into enlightenment, or Malala Yousafzai, who turned her pain into advocacy, we all have the capacity to find meaning and purpose in our struggles. Whether it's the gardener tending to a seed, the student studying late into the night, or the parent guiding their child, each act of perseverance teaches us that beauty and growth often emerge from life's most challenging moments. The core teachings of Buddhism emphasize that inner peace is not a product of external circumstances, but a state cultivated from within. This understanding transforms the way we approach life's challenges and aspirations. Letting go of attachments, for instance, allows us to appreciate the fleeting beauty of the present moment without clinging to what is impermanent. In a world constantly in flux, this practice helps us navigate change with grace and reduces the suffering that comes from resisting the inevitable. Whether it's a parent accepting their child's growing independence or an individual coming to terms with the passage of time, detachment fosters a profound sense of liberation. Desiring wisely is another essential aspect of this journey. Desires themselves are not inherently harmful. It's the nature of those desires and how we pursue them that matters. Redirecting our energy toward meaningful goals such as fostering personal growth, contributing to our communities, or deepening our relationships aligns us with values that bring lasting fulfillment. Take, for example, someone who shifts their focus from acquiring material possessions to creating shared memories with loved ones. This change not only enhances their happiness, but also strengthens their connections with others, illustrating the profound impact of aligning desires with purpose. Training the mind through practices like meditation is central to unlocking inner peace. Our minds are often unruly, filled with endless thoughts, worries, and distractions. Meditation helps us break free from these patterns, teaching us to observe our thoughts without judgment and remain anchored in the present moment. The benefits extend far beyond moments of stillness. A trained mind is better equipped to handle stress, resolve conflicts, and approach life's uncertainties with clarity and composure. Imagine someone caught in a heated argument who, instead of reacting impulsively, takes a moment to breathe and respond thoughtfully. This ability to pause and reflect not only diffuses tension but also fosters deeper understanding and connection. Suffering, while universally experienced, is often seen as something to avoid. Buddhism, however, encourages us to embrace suffering as a teacher. Painful experiences, though challenging, can lead to profound insights and personal transformation. Consider someone who loses their job unexpectedly. While the initial shock may be overwhelming, the experience often prompts them to reassess their priorities, explore new opportunities, and develop resilience. This perspective transforms suffering from an obstacle into a stepping stone, empowering individuals to grow through adversity. The beauty of these teachings lies in their accessibility and universality. They are not confined to monasteries or spiritual retreats, but can be integrated into daily life. Small, consistent steps toward mindfulness, such as practicing gratitude, meditating for a few minutes each day, or pausing to reflect before making decisions, can create profound transformations over time. These practices remind us that the path to inner peace is not about perfection, but about progress, one moment at a time. Even in the modern world, filled with distractions and demands, these principles remain deeply relevant. In workplaces, mindful leadership fosters collaboration and innovation. In families, letting go of control and embracing acceptance strengthens relationships. In communities, acts of compassion and generosity create ripples of positivity that uplift everyone involved. The teachings of Buddhism offer a timeless framework for navigating life's complexities with wisdom and grace. As individuals, our paths are unique, shaped by our experiences, choices, and aspirations. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to cultivating inner peace, but the principles of Buddhism provide a guiding light. Whether it's finding balance amidst chaos, seeking meaning in adversity, or simply learning to be present, these teachings empower us to live with intention and authenticity. They remind us that true happiness is not something to be pursued externally, but discovered within, through mindful living and compassionate action. Reflecting on these insights, it becomes clear that the journey toward inner peace is both deeply personal and profoundly interconnected. By transforming ourselves, we influence those around us, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond our individual lives. In this way, the pursuit of inner peace is not only a gift to ourselves, but also a contribution to the greater good, fostering a more harmonious and compassionate world. Now that we've explored the profound teachings of Buddhism, one thing becomes clear. Inner peace isn't something you search for in the world. It's something you cultivate within yourself. By letting go of attachments, desiring wisely, training your mind, and embracing life's challenges as opportunities to grow, you hold the power to transform not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. So, what steps will you take today to bring more mindfulness and peace into your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how these ideas resonate with you. Let's create a community where we inspire and support each other on this journey of self-discovery. If this video sparked something within you, don't forget to like it, share it with a friend who might need a little guidance, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue sharing these transformative ideas. Remember, every small step toward mindfulness can create profound change. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay peaceful, stay mindful, and take care.